Okay. Good evening. Hi, everybody, or good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you are, wherever you're watching, whenever you're watching. My name is Robin Blank Mascari, and every Tuesday evening, we do an introduction to a very special company called LifeWave. And if, in case you're brand new, and we talk about our technology, and we share the star of the show, which is called X39. It's our stem cell activation patch. And then I introduce a special doctor that we have with us. And this evening it's Dr. Barbara Jennings. I'll introduce her in a little bit. And then it's your turn. And it's your turn to share your stories, your testimonials. What have you noticed that's changed? And then if you have some questions, you can ask questions too. Just a reminder, we're not here to treat, diagnose, or mention any kind of disease states. We only talk symptoms. And I really, really appreciate the compliance that everyone is doing so beautifully. And I hope everyone can hear me okay. So let's get started with our call. So LifeWave. I'll start out by saying what happened to me, because I was having some severe knee challenges, didn't want to have another knee replacement, was a candidate for double and severe bone-on-bone pain, and was researching stem cells. I had done a lot of research, been to a bunch of seminars, learned about different kinds of stem cells, and did research online, and we were willing to pay $12,500 out of pocket with no guarantee. And then we got that most memorable call from our friend Kai, and he said, there's a new technology out. It uses light to activate your own stem cells. And I said, how fast can I get it? Because he was a trusted friend of many, many years, I didn't need any other information. I didn't even ask the price. And I got started and put this little patch, looks kind of like a Band-Aid, on the top of my neck on what's called C7. And a week later, the pain in my knee was gone, like gone. Well, I started as a customer. I was not looking for a business. I joined LifeWave to use the product, but the results were so amazing that I couldn't not share. And then it shifted into a responsibility to share. And in February of last year, I started, sharing, and now thousands and thousands of people all over the world, literally, have had their lives changed and transformed from this technology. I noticed lots of other wonderful things. I'll mention a few as we go on, but let me talk about the company, because it's a very, very special company. It's called LifeWave. It just had its 16th birthday, started in 2004 in November. And it was begun by our founder and owner, David Schmidt, our CEO and inventor. And I'll talk about David in just a few minutes. The company, David is an inventor, and he was on a government contract prior to starting LifeWave to create something for the Navy SEALs that would help keep them awake in their mini subs for days on end without any stimulants, without any chemicals, without any drugs, and created this technology called photobiomodulation, which is a supported science now. Back then it wasn't. People thought it was snake oil, but we're going to talk about that in a little bit. And this patch was very effective. It was called the energy enhancer. Well, things were going well, and then 9/11 happened, and the government had a very different focus away from survival equipment. And David was introduced to the concept of getting the product to market through person-to-person marketing, through network marketing. It's a science and research-based company that has chosen network marketing for its distribution method because it needs a voice. It needs our voices to get the word out in the world. So LifeWave was born, and there are 3 phases that we talk about in the patches. The very first phase was the energy enhancer and symptom-related patches. So the energy enhancer, and David noticed that there's some pain relief qualities that happen with that patch, and he tweaked it a little bit and created the ice wave. And in this company, David loves his science and does clinicals. We have over 80 clinicals in the company, and there's more all the time. I believe there's over 9 published ones for, I don't know if they're all publicly available, of the X39, the star of the show. But the energy enhancer, then the ice wave patch that reduces pain rapidly and instantly with a vast majority of people. It's very exciting. They are non-transdermal patches, which means nothing is going into the body other than a frequency of light. And we'll talk about that soon. And then a sleep patch called Silent Night that has been used in hospitals in Europe instead of sleep medication. So that was phase 1. Phase 2 was the anti-aging phase, and we have the Y-Age series of patches, the eon glutathione and carnosine. And I'm not going to get into details because this evening we do a history of LifeWave and a little bit about the other patches, but our focus is on the star of the show, which is phase 3, called the regenerative phase. And for the past 10 years, David has been in his lab living in the questions of how do we enhance the quality of life with people? How do we turn back the clock? And X39 was born. It was introduced to the world last January in 2019. There was a world tour where David traveled around the world and shared the research of this amazing patch. And the rest is history, because in 2018 to 2019, the company tripled in size because of the introduction of this patch. It's the most comprehensive patch that we have, and it does activate your own younger stem cells and does a lot more. So we always invite everyone to research GHK-CU. It's the copper peptide, and there's what it looks like there. Dr. Lauren Picard is I should probably hold it up a little bit longer. Dr. Lauren Picard is the one who discovered this copper peptide, known in scientific circles as the holy grail of health, healing, and regeneration. And the famous, the billion-dollar companies around the world have not been able to crack the code that our genius founder, David Schmidt, has done. David has over 100 patents and patent pendings to his name. He's constantly doing more and more research, and he's got all kinds of things up his sleeve. So I am very proud and privileged that I get to share this technology. And let's see a little bit more about the company. We are in over 75 countries around the world. We have 14 distribution centers. I believe this year we've I sold about 30 million patches, and they are non-transdermal, so nothing's going in the body, and they are safe. They are natural, they're affordable, they're safe, and most importantly, effective. So what I'd love to do right now is bring on my guest this evening, who I love having with me, and I always get to learn wonderful things from her. It's Dr. Barbara Jennings. And Dr. Barbara, and I want to make sure I get things right here, she is a chiropractor and a Professional Wellness Alliance licensed provider. That's a mouthful. Barbara has 7 children, and she lives in Fort Collins and practices there. She's originally a classical pianist, and she became a functional medicine focused chiropractor after a chiropractor helped her reverse a very severe condition, and she loves working with people and helping them with those things. I'm not going to mention disease states. So she loves working with people struggling with thyroid challenges and autoimmune conditions and metabolic issues. She's got lots of resources and tools in her tool chest. She also teaches NIA, which is a fusion of dance, martial arts, and yoga. And she's been with LifeWave since September of 2019, and it has incorporated in her clinical practice. I love working with her. I love learning from her, and I want to welcome her. Barbara, why don't you turn on your camera? There she is. Hi.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good to see you.
It's great to see you too, and happy holidays.
Thank you very much. Yes.
And happy Thanksgiving to everyone in the US, and thank you all our Canadian friends. It's a big deal holiday around here, and There's so much to be grateful for, and I am incredibly grateful because these patches have changed my life in many, many ways and the lives of many other people. So, Dr. Barbara,
Yeah.
would you please share with our audience a little bit about the technology, photobiomodulation? What is it?
Okay, yes, I would love to. Photobiomodulation. With my patients, I always break that down because really it's 3 words squished together. So photo means light, bio refers to your body, your biology, and modulation means change. And so photobiomodulation is changing your body with light. And it's, yep, it's very easy.
Love
And
it.
yeah, and it's based on the science now, but the understanding that human beings are very much affected by light, light of all types and kinds. And we are designed to react to light in sometimes very, very specific ways. The genius of David Schmidt in being able to harness the use of light in something as small, this size of a little round Band-Aid patch it's just really kind of mind-boggling what he's been able to accomplish with this simple easy to use technology and the profound effects it can have on us. So light, I think the 2 easiest examples for that everyone can understand is when sunlight hits our skin, 2 things happen. Number 1, it can cause our skin to create vitamin D, and that's how we get the hormone of vitamin D, called a vitamin, but it's a hormone. The second thing is, you get a suntan or you get a sunburn. And so some frequency of light in sunlight hits your skin and causes the chemical reaction of making melanin, which gives us a suntan.
Love it.
So those are both really easy and obvious or well-known examples of our bodies reacting to light. So others that I like to teach people, because I think it's interesting and it helps people sometimes reestablish their circadian rhythm, if that's off also, is the morning, the sunrise gives us more blue light, and we can't see these, but the blue light actually activates in our eyes, through our eyes, our wake-up chemistry, hormones and neurotransmitters. And at dusk or sunset, we get a lot more infrared light, and that activates melatonin and our slowing down, getting ready for bed chemistry. So some great examples of how sensitive we are to light.
That's so beautiful. And you did such a wonderful job of taking that big word and making it simple. I love it. I love it. So as a doctor, as a chiropractor, you've incorporated this technology into your practice. Would you share just a little bit why you've done that and what's attracted you as a doctor to incorporate this product?
Sure. I decided to bring this into my practice and recommend it to patients because it took me all of 2 weeks to figure out that these patches can do things that I can't do any other way. I can't give more stem cells through supplements or through adjusting or other therapies. I don't do stem cell injections, and I don't want to. So the ability of this X39 to activate 2 really game-changing things for our bodies and for our health is why I got excited and continue to use them in my practice and recommend them. So I don't know if you're going to ask me about GHK. Do you want to ask?
I want to ask what those 2 things are.
Right. So those 2 things. The first
I want to know.
Yeah. The first thing the X39 patch does is activate the synthesis of a peptide called GHK-Cu, which stands for copper. So this GHK copper peptide. So it's acting, it's we are reacting to this light frequency the same way our skin makes melanin, right? It causes our skin to make something, or our bodies to make something, and we make this copper peptide. And this copper peptide all by itself, if it did nothing else, it would be worth everything, right? Every penny, every, remembering to use it, that we do, because it influences 4,000, I think 4,000 or more genes are positively affected. So that copper peptide is involved in actually the expression of genes at the level of DNA. So, if you imagine that double helix, those genes that go across on the double helix, like the ladder, those are your genes that can either be turned on to be expressed or turned off, so they're not expressed. And that copper peptide can influence 4,000 of those genes, and it's going to help the good ones be expressed and the bad ones to be turned off. So that's huge, right? That's super important. Not to mention all the anti-aging and beauty effects that the copper peptide has. It's so good for your skin, for your hair, for your brain. It's good for so many things. The second thing is that when that copper peptide is increased and elevated, it in turn triggers the production of stem cells in our bodies. So we get this secondary effect that has an equally or even more profound effect, which is more stem cell production. And the exciting thing for me is that can happen at any age, right? Because by the time you're 60, you have 10 to 15% of what you had when you were born. And by the time you're 70, you pretty much don't make any anymore. But this patch does actually work for people over age 70.
Isn't that wonderful? Well,
it's awesome.
You talk it's pretty amazing, and you're talking stem cells, and I know some of us know what they are and some don't. So could you give the audience a kind of a basic understanding of what are they and why are they so important?
Sure. A stem cell is think of it as a baby cell. It's a new cell that has not been assigned a part of the body to become yet. It can go and become just about any kind of tissue or body part that it needs to be. And the beautiful thing about stem cells, you're born with tons of them. There's obviously in utero, they're abundant and they fade over time. But to have access to stem cells means that you have the ability to heal faster, because those stem cells are going to be drawn to parts of the body that are damaged, where there's areas of inflammation, where there's injury, where there's been, a wound. And so they can become skin and heal your skin faster. They can have a healing impact just about anywhere in the body. And the exciting thing that the studies are showing, that the great impact it's having on the brain is profound. And, name a body part and you need stem cells to repair and regenerate that.
So these stem cells, you said when we're young, we have a lot of them. And then by the time we're 60, we have like 10% less, and it gets worse after that. So kind of like the older we get, the faster we age, the slower we heal, because we don't have those stem cells. So now, because you're 96 and I'm 98, and we're looking pretty good, right?
Right. Started using patches when I was 4. Yeah.
I had fun with that one, because it's amazing how I've noticed, one of the things is it increases collagen production. So, the fine lines and wrinkles get better, and that's pretty wonderful. I'm actually 66 and I'm proud of it. And then other wonderful things happen that you don't expect, right? I mean, I had this deformed finger and now it can straighten out. It's like, it's really fun. I mean, I wasn't planning on that one, but the pain in my knee went away. And two orthopedics and one sports medicine MD. They looked at my x-ray and they said, I don't know why you're not in excruciating pain. And I know why. So we're thrilled to share that. And you're able to share with your patients things that, you can't do on your own. So as Dr.
Right.
Nicholas says, it enhances the clinical outcome of what you can do in your practice with your patients.
Yeah. And I believe our bodies are, divinely intelligent, and our bodies know best. Our bodies are the best doctor. And just to give the raw materials, this copper peptide and stem cells, the body will take them and use them wherever it wants it the most. And those things, for most people, are noticeable pretty quickly, but not everyone, right? Not everybody notices anything for a few months. That doesn't mean good things aren't happening. It just means your body's doing something, repairing something that's really important, maybe more important than that pain in your knee for now, but it'll probably get to that pain in your knee later.
That's really wonderful to hear. And we typically recommend people start. We have many different patches at LifeWave, but we recommend people start with X39. And how long do you recommend people, and what else do you say to them to get the maximum benefit from using this technology?
Well, I remind them to stay hydrated and drink half their body weight in water and take minerals so they're well hydrated. But I also tell people they may be one of the lucky ones who feels a benefit in a short time. I've had people who felt a change within 1 hour, right? A benefit, a decrease in pain. I've also had some patients who took 3 months. So I tell people before they're ever put on their first patch, it might take 3 months. So please commit to 3 months.
Thank you. That makes a lot of sense. We typically like people to try the patches for 3 months before they introduce the other patches, because X39 is so comprehensive and it can do things
And foundational. Yeah.
and foundational, and actually everything else will work better when we have more stem cells. So
Right.
what else is important for our audience to learn about with these patches from your perspective? What do you tell your patients about the patches to pay attention to or be aware of, or how to get maximum benefit other than hydration? Anything else?
Well, I find most people forget. they forget to put them on, or they forget to take them off. So, some things that I just tell people a lot is more practical. Like for a lot of people, I'll just suggest keeping it by your toothbrush. So you take them on and off the same time you brush your teeth morning
That's
and
what
night.
I do.
Yeah. It may not be exactly 12 hours, but you're going to get really close probably.
That's
yes.
great.
So that's important. And just to be consistent, gladly they're waterproof. So you can wear them exercising, you can wear them in the shower. It really doesn't matter what time of day you wear the X39 patch. Drink water. The other thing I do give people a heads up about is that there is a concept called retracing. And sometimes with retracing, as the body heals, especially something that's been chronic or an old injury that's been there a long time, retracing is kind of peeling back the layers one by one as they're corrected or repaired. And in that process, some of those old symptoms can actually rear their little painful head for a little while. Usually doesn't last very long, but I like to tell people that, because otherwise they think that bad things are happening and it's causing a new problem when actually good things are happening.
Okay.
Fix the problem.
All right. Well, that's beautiful. And I did have that experience, and no one told me. And I had this sharp pain in the middle of my arm where I had an old injury, and it was like, oh my gosh. And the beauty is you can just take the patch off, and then it's not like ingesting something that you can't take out. You can just take the patch off if you're having that retracing experience. David Schmidt, he says, when new cells are regenerated, the old cells have to go somewhere. So they slough off and become inflammation, which can cause temporary discomfort or pain. And so drink a lot of water, it will pass. It could be hours, days, weeks, but it will get even better than it was before.
Yeah, that you reminded me of another thing that I think it's important to tell people. The patches are good for 12 hours and it doesn't have to be consecutively, right? You can wear them 4 hours at a time. It's good for a total of 12 hours, whether you wear it all 12 at once or break it into pieces.
Great, great. So let's see what our audience has to say today. We have Daniela, who is asking, how does it make a distinction between turning off bad genes and turning on the good ones? Also, some genes we could call bad are also good for some things.
Well, how does it know? Your body knows. Your body has the wisdom to know. And that copper peptide is a natural design to activate or turn off the good or the bad genes. So there are contributing factors, certainly, that could cause bad genes to be expressed. You know, diet, toxins, stress, all of these things that wouldn't be surprising to hear are definitely contributing factors, but having more of the right tool whose job it is to turn on a good gene is a good thing.
Thank you. I think what helped me understand this is the body will never do harm to itself.
Right.
Its focus is to come to homeostasis, and this accelerates that journey. So
yes, we are survivors.
We are survivors. So Jim is asking, how young is too young for the X39 patch? Great question.
There is no too young. I wouldn't have any qualms about using it on anybody.
Good.
Well, you know, I guess we should mention the contraindications, right?
Yes, that would be great. Thank you.
Right. So a person who has received an organ transplant and is on immunosuppressive drugs should not use the X39, not because it's bad, but because it will support the immune system. And if you're trying to suppress your immune system, then there are probably several things that you should avoid that might strengthen or, you know, support the immune system. So that and someone actively in chemotherapy is also contraindicated. It's not tested in pregnancy, so you make your own decision on that one.
If you call the company, they're going to say no. And something I learned that
throw a pregnant woman in the picture, everybody says no.
Yeah, no one's going to test a product on a pregnant woman. And something interesting, if a pregnant woman's in an accident, the baby will actually give her stem cells. Isn't that fabulous? It's very exciting. So
stem cells are abundant with growing a baby.
Yes, they are. One of the things David Schmidt says is that as long the youngest that people can use the patches are, you want to make sure that the child can verbally communicate. And because sometimes, you know, the patch needs to come off, and the beauty is, you know, if you've had too much or whatever, you just take it off. So if someone's got any kind of dis-ease, it might be helpful. So let's see, we have, let's see, what drinks beside pure water would be considered hydration?
Something with minerals, trace minerals. There's two parts to being hydrated. Part is water, and the other part is minerals. Electrolytes are minerals. So I've done thousands of body compositions. One of the things we measure is cellular hydration. And out of thousands of those, I can count on one hand the number of people who came in who were not dehydrated well. I mean, everybody's dehydrated. 5 people were not dehydrated. So
I better drink my water with minerals.
Yeah, so can I just teach something that's really important, I think? as far as hydration. For people, I see and hear people kind of brag about how much water they drink, like, oh, I'll drink a gallon a day. Like, that's not good, you know, unless you're in heat, really exercising, sweating up a storm. If you're drinking a gallon a day and you're thirsty, that's not good. You shouldn't be thirsty that much. If you're drinking a lot because you're always thirsty, it really means you're mineral deficient. So get a good trace mineral, and take it for many, many months and remineralize your body so that your body has the ability to hold on or really absorb the water into your cells. Then these patches will all work better.
It's so true. If people are not well hydrated and people think, well, I've got to drink body weight divided by 2, that's a lot of ounces, and they gulp, and then their urine is clear, so they're not even absorbing the water that they're drinking. So the combination of minerals and sipping can make a big difference, and urine should be a light color, not dark or not clear. It should be light yellow. Great. Okay.
About the color of a yellow sticky note. That's perfect.
A light yellow sticky note.
Yes, light yellow.
I call it lemonade. Okay, so we have some anonymous attendee that wants to know, what would you suggest for itchy, rashy skin?
A lot. Okay, so as far as LifeWave goes, there are some great tools to help with skin. The X39 for sure. The Alavita is for skin as well. But for itchy, rashy skin, obviously you want to check for topical things. Like if you're touching, sometimes it's chemicals in your laundry detergent. But if you've checked off all of those, then you have to look at your gut. Clean and heal your digestive system. That's usually where it's at.
Mm-hmm. And isn't skin and rashes typically body releasing toxins and acidic?
It can be. It can be. If you're detoxing faster than your liver and your kidneys can filter, then your skin is your next detox organ. So liver, kidneys, skin, lungs. It's going to come out all of those. And so if your liver and your kidneys are overloaded, then you can detox through your skin.
Okay, I always learn so much from you. I wish you were closer. We're very close here. Let's see. Gail is asking, I'm working with a chiropractor and I'm just wondering if you recommend the Eon to your chiro clients that have a lot of trauma to the spine.
I love the Eon patch. I recommend it to a lot of people for a lot of reasons. So yes, there's different kinds of trauma to the spine. I'm not sure exactly what, but the Eon patch, I know is not our main topic here, but
that's fine.
It helps reduce inflammation and it helps balance stress. So if you think of a continuum of your fight or flight stress response, right? Like you're running from a tiger versus you're asleep. You need to be able to go back and forth between both, right? When you're standing up, you should be on the sympathetic nervous system. As soon as you lay down, your nervous system should change to parasympathetic just by virtue of laying down. That gives your nervous system, your brain and body the signal, hey, I'm resting. That's where healing takes place. So many people are so stressed that they get stuck in the sympathetic. It's called, sympathetic overdrive. And they never get over to this parasympathetic where healing takes place. So what the beauty of the Eon patch does is if you're stuck here, it helps rebalance that so that you can go to both places.
Beautiful. When people say they have challenge sleeping, I ask them several questions because we have different patches that can make a difference. And for a lot of people, I mean, honestly, we're all stressed right now. Look what's going on. There's so much uncertainty in our world, and some people have trouble sleeping, and it's not because of melatonin. It's not because of blue light from too many devices. It's because of stress. So
Mhm.
EN can become a great sleep patch for people because it,
Yeah.
like exactly what you said, balances the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, allowing the body to really rest so it can rejuvenate. Yeah.
Yep. For
So
sleep, you can wear it here or you can wear it here. Yeah, it's great.
you can wear it lots of places,
Yep.
and before the X39 came out, the Eon was the star of the show. It is inflammatory, anti-stress, and like we said, balancing the system, which allows every organ to work better. So oh my gosh, we're at the end of our program. It went so
Oh, it
fast.
has.
I
Mhm.
know, really fast. Let's see if there's anything we've got to cover. I don't think so. Oh, someone said, please repeat. This is for Wendy. If you drink, if you drink a lot of water and are still thirsty, that's when you need more minerals, she's
Yes.
asking.
Yes.
Very good to know. Very good to know. So our time went quickly. I want to thank everyone
Mhm.
for being with us this evening. If you're brand new to LifeWave, please get back to the person that invited you. We have wonderful customer programs, and if you're the kind of person that likes to share, there's a wonderful compensation available to you. If you like to share, I personally feel a sense of responsibility. And I am so grateful every single day for LifeWave. And now that we're in this season of gratitude, I want to express that to each and every one of you. Thank you, Dr. Barbara. It's always a pleasure having you here. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to be with us this evening. And all of our programs will be on our YouTube channel, liveyoungeryoutube.com. So you can find it there probably in the next few days. And if you go under the playlist, there's a doctor's column. So you can go there and find Dr. Barbara from another time. She's with us once a month. So I want to thank everyone. It was wonderful being with you. Barbara, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Have a wonderful holiday, however you choose to be safe, and enjoy it with your friends and family. We're going to do a family Zoom because that's a safe thing, and just have a few people here. So blessings to everybody. Bye-bye.
All right. Good night. Thanks, everyone.